You got Vince Staples. You got me. They told me I was #1 on iTunes. I got a text. I'm like, I'm in the bed. You see how I showed up? They told me I was #1 on iTunes. That don't sound like the West is done to me.
I just feel like they needed a fresh breath. And,
I mean,
and this is perfect timing.
W.I.G been doing it for years. Shout out to Tyga. Been doing it for years. Never cared about nothing. Kept pushing. Frank Ocean is from L.A. too. Doja Cat is from L.A. if I'm not mistaken, right?
Doja Cat was the album was cool. Doja was cool. But I'm just saying right now,
like, what are we talking about?
To drop it.
Like what? How many artists do we need? Just all relevant. Just say what they need to do is just crown us like you should and give us our flowers, the ones that's still doing it, and tell the newer artists talk about the newer artists, not say you're not popping. Talk about them, like talk about them.
Yeah, just talk about them, make them relevant, make them do what they do.
Make them. I put Chike on my album. You get what I'm saying? I didn't even rap on it. That's you.
And speaking of Chike, you know, since this, right, Kendrick has went on a cold run. Chike has had some more success, this, that, and the third. But as of late, it's been a conversation about whether or not the Los Angeles music scene, you know, kind of like died with Drakeo, this, that, and the third. But, you know, some would say hip-hop and rap is dying out in general. You know what I'm talking about? We're going to get into it, bro.
Music is so fried, died, and laid to the side, baby. We don't want to hear that no more. We don't want to hear how you can pop your cat, pop your cat. We don't want to hear that.
Rap is an art form. You are supposed to be saying something. When I hear y'all music, y'all don't be saying nothing.
Rap is cool and all, but it's getting outplayed, bro. They talk about hoes, money, killing. Bro, I don't want to hear that every day, bro.
I am tired of the shaking. Like, I'm tired of seeing that. Can we bring back real music videos with real creativity?
The song is called Kissing You. It's about wanting to be with somebody so bad that it's just like kissing you is more than enough. And she took that and made pop that right here.
I've been noticing something off about rap music lately. And I'm not a music critic, okay? We're not about to sit here and talk about mumble rap or flows. What we're getting into is way bigger than that. Because people used to turn up to rap, not only because it sounded.
They did indeed. And shout out Janae Danielle. You know, I ain't gonna hold her up too much.
Good, but because it felt good too. Well, today, instead of turning up, a lot of people are turning down the volume. From female rappers asserting their dominance through sex to male rappers asserting theirs through violence, it's like every time a new rap song drops, we already know what it's gonna sound like. And not just in the beat or the music, but in the meaning or the lack of. In today's video, we're gonna look at how and why rap became predictable, performative, and empty, and also why so many people are tired of it. Welcome to the Girl Talk you didn't know you needed. Now, I'm not saying you have to subscribe. You're classy. I know you don't just give those away for free, but hopefully at the end of this video, we become bestie enough for you to take that next step. But right before we break this down, I want to take a quick second to thank today's sponsor, Pair Eyewear. They make it so in this video. When rap music first came on the scene, it wasn't just for entertainment, it was the start of a different type of revolution. And both men and women were shaping that. Rap started in places like Harlem and the South Bronx, in neighborhoods that were overlooked, underfunded, and almost forgotten.
This is Harlem, a place almost everybody has heard of, but where most outsiders have never been. Every urban problem that plagues this country is represented here, and you can find it all within a few blocks of this rooftop. Broken families, rampant street crime, the worst housing this side of Calcutta, alcoholism, street gangs, and the worst plague of all, addiction. But Harlem, even the pits of Harlem, is a story so much larger than just junk and junkies.
So in these places where people didn't have much, but they still had something to say, rap became the voice that mainstream media never cared to give them.
In this, this section of the city, not too many families can afford music lessons and things like that. Kids have no place.
I really appreciate her going back like this, right? And just highlighting that it was a way for people without a voice to have one. You know what I'm talking about?
Music anymore. So in the Bronx, what happened was that they figured out a new form of music that didn't take any music lessons, and that is using poetry in a rhythm.
Their lyrics were filled with a range of topics from race, social class, and politics, and what made it powerful was that it felt lived in.
I think it was Chuck D who said, it's the CNN of the black community. It's actually reporting on all of these things that we've experienced in poetry form and musical form.
You had rappers like KRS-One or Ice Cube calling out systems.
Ice Cube. Yes. Sue from Illinois asked why people are picking on you. Why do they pick on black artists when, say, the heavy metal artists advocated all sorts of weird things anyway? Why do you think people are picking on you?
I'm a young black man with very strong views, and I'm not the only one that holds these views about the system.
And you also had women like MC Lyte and Queen Latifah speaking on respect, identity, and womanhood.
While we're familiar with Salt and Pepper, Roxanne, Shantae, and MC Lyte, there's a long list.
Did you hear that, bro? She gonna say, why you think they got a problem with what you saying? What? They've had a problem with everything just from the beginning of time. Ma'am, do you not know the history with so-called black people in America? Of course. I mean, it's all,
The ladies who helped set the foundation for others. The founding female MCs of hip-hop were investing their sweat and rhymes alongside their male counterparts to create a new subgenre within the culture.
And you weren't just hearing what they thought, but you were hearing what they'd been through. Now, as more ears were able to experience rap, that's when things started to change. Fast forward to the 90s, and rap had started to grow from a neighborhood sound to a cultural movement.
Within a few years, it had become an underground cultural movement, and its distribution was homemade.
You couldn't purchase albums or records, and you couldn't hear hip-hop on the radio. The only way that you could participate in the culture musically was through these cassette tapes, which would circulate all throughout the city.
As its influence deepened and broadened, the music spread from the underground onto the radio.
As rap got bigger, it got more commercial.
So you understand what was happening, bro? At first it was like, let's suppress it. Then it was like, let's control it. And now we can kind of understand why all the music we hear is the way it is.
The stories were still raw, they were still coming from the streets, but now the world was watching and adapting. This is also when artists like Lauryn Hill and Nas stepped onto the scene. Lauryn even won Album of the Year at the Grammys, which was unheard of at the time for a rapper.
And the Album of the Year is The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill.
Amen. Wow, this is crazy because this is hip hop music, and you know what I mean? It's like,
Rappers were getting record deals. Music videos were hitting TV stations like MTV and BET, and labels started realizing there was real money in this. But with that kind of attention came an image. The industry started pushing what a rapper was supposed to look and sound like. And that's when things really started to shift, especially for women rappers.
She didn't look like a typical music star.
You look at TV and you like, okay, I don't see no big woman on this TV, where the big girls at?
Yet Missy Elliott became one of the industry's most successful figures.
Artists like Missy Elliott came onto the scene, and she pushed the boundaries without hypersexualizing herself. But a lot of artists were still trapped in that marketable look that labels knew would sell. The men were pushed to be flashier, more aggressive, controversial, even sometimes violent.
Everybody gotta be a dope boy, you feel me? Everybody gotta be a everybody gotta be a gangster, and everybody gotta be hard. All I'm doing is being real.
The women were
Exactly, and I think she say the labels were trying to push what they think what a rapper was supposed to look like. I think it was something more sinister than that. I think it was COINTELPRO-ish, really, right? We get in and we highlight the most negative aspects of the community. What, you know, they just glamorize what people were using as survival tactics and this, that, and the third, right? Just all the things that were associated with the inner city, bro. Selling drugs, this, that, and the third. It was a way to make it without the man, but it was ultimately destructive, bro, to the community. And I think like with certain things, like with certain avenues people try to use to make a way out, as with the music, bro, they took that and corrupted that, bro.
To be more provocative, glamorous, and seductive. Lil' Kim may have cracked the door open, but by the late 2000s, Nicki Minaj kicked it down. She started turning sex appeal into a brand strategy. She became the blueprint that a lot of female artists seem like they have to follow today.
Although Nicki's lyrics could get as raunchy as any female rapper, she kind of pioneered sexual raunch on a record in service of her, as opposed to servicing others. I think if you go back and listen to Lil' Kim's raunchy work and her presentation of on record, Kim mostly positions herself as a object and a receiver of sexual desire by her male fans and male peers. But Nicki was like, no, you all are here to please me and are here for my pleasure, which was transgressive at the time.
So it wasn't just about the music anymore, it was the full package. Labels wanted songs that could chart, but rappers had to be more than just rappers. They had to sell the whole image. You had to have the big chains, the big butts. And suddenly it wasn't just about what you were saying, it was about how you looked saying it. And that was the turning point, because labels started figuring out what could sell. So over time, rap stopped feeling like a testimony and started to become a product to sell.
I think a lot of it has to do with the rap game. I think rap music kind of like sold out the culture in a whole. A lot of rappers will be mad at me for saying this, but I don't care. The time I start hearing rappers tell me, yo, I don't rap for the sake of the culture. I don't rap for the art. Man, I rap for the dollars. That's, to me, a bad state to be in.
Today, rap is still one of the most popular genres of music, but
or rapping to, you know, for the community, to put out a message for the community. So many people, bruh, that come from, they using like this art form that was, you know, I feel like, bro, that's the communities. You trying to act like it's yours and you could do whatever you want with it, but it's just crazy, bro. Like, these dudes will rap about whatever, knowing that this shit is going out to so many people, and you don't care about who kids you're gonna affect with that shit, what message you ultimately see. You think that they just want they was already making money, bro. You know what I'm saying? We was gonna be able to, but it's a 2-for-1, right? Because guess what? We get to control them, and we get to make some money in the process. I think the same thing, right? The merger of the people in the streets and who was independent businessmen with these people who was already supposed businessmen, right? Was the beginning of the end, bro. Just like with Martin Luther King, right? When he tried to do the little inclusion thing, bro. Knowing whole time these people don't fucking like you, got a disdain for you, but you want to do business with them. You think you gonna change somebody's mind. Wishful thinking.
when you really stop and listen, you start to question why. Now, the sound and the blueprint of rap have mainly stayed the same over the years. Men rap about money, power, and women. Women rap about confidence, womanhood, and sexiness. But as the years go on and the tracks continue to be produced, the message starts to get a little repetitive.
Everybody trying to rap the same style with the, I don't know who created it, if it was Future or Migos, but all them sound the same.
You're making it because you're in the studio like, what's the #1 record right now? We need to make another one of those. Stop doing that! Stop! You're not original! Give me some originals!
A new song will drop and it's about...
See, and the same thing T-Pain and Snoop is doing, right, by blaming some of these artists, is the same thing I feel like people are doing to these artists right now by saying, oh, we're tired of hearing this type of music. This is what these labels are putting out. This is what they're investing in. Sex sales, drama sales, this, that, and the third. We know we at that point, right? But I think, you know, for that to be, you know, like targeted to a certain, it's like, why rap is the only people that gotta rap like this? You know, country been country for hella long, bro.
getting money just like the last 20. Another verse about taking someone's girl or sleeping with another woman's man. Maybe having the nicest clothes or body in the room.
Like every single sentence is about booty, having licking, flipping, twerking and hunching. I mean, can we get real rap? Can we get real bars? It's prostitute rap.
I really mean this with no shade at all, but don't y'all get tired of rapping about like drugs and drinking? It's the same topics like every single time. Don't y'all be living actual lives? Like, I know you have something more to rap about other than that.
Here's a quick thought from me, because I feel like a lot of people, they listen to music and they listen to the lyrics more than the music. And some people want to listen to those lyrics and they still want to relate in a sense, right? So when every rapper or even pop stars are speaking about their 10 cars and their jewelry worth millions of dollars, I mean, read the room. Do you see the times we're living in? I'm not saying that these types of lyrics shouldn't be in these songs. I can't control these people. God forbid if these rappers couldn't talk about how much money they made and their status. What are they gonna talk about? World peace? Rap music today feels so familiar that you probably already know what the rapper is gonna say before you hit play.
Okay, playlist for new. So yeah, man, I'm gonna stop it right there. Shout out Janae Danielle. Once again, I appreciate the video. He put it together real well, right? I will say, right, you know, it's a lot of like misguided energy, right? And I think we know who's the author of confusion, right? So, you know, this thing is way more deeper than that meets the eye. I'm gonna say that, right? And I think, you know, it's people making real music, but I don't think people want to hear that shit. People want to hear the ratchetness, the raunchiness, this, that, and the third. Now, with that said, I think people want to hear good music as well. But it's like with people wanting to hear the ratchet and raunchiness on top of it being promoted, everything else is going to get kind of drowned out. You get what I'm saying? You're going to have to go and seek out the music you are looking for, man. I think this shit is all contrived. It's a plan. It's deep, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section though. What y'all think about this shit? You think you think this shit is all a coincidence?
Say ho, you can't be playing with that paper, ho. Nigga need that yaper, need it now and not later, ho. Say ho, you can't be playing with that paper, ho. Nigga need that yaper, need it now and not later, ho. Say ho, you can't be playing with that paper, ho. Nigga need that yaper.